Okay, this small lecture is on the basic concept of right hand rule. Right hand rule is very essential and very important because flexibility method and stiffness methods are based on this right hand rule. Also, you are going to appear in midterms and subsequently in the final term. And if you are confused about this rule, you cannot solve your mid and final terms and assignments as well. So you should be very clear on it. And I am going to give you some examples on this. Okay, uh, I've always told you that this is my y direction and this is my z. So you should be sticking to this sign convention throughout the course. In some books, it would be different, but we are following this. This is very easy to comprehend. Okay, and again, for example, I have a member and this member is in x direction. This member is in, because this is the same direction as this member, so this is my x, and the loading is in z direction, and this is my load 1 kip, and this is in z direction. So if you and this is 10 feet, so if you rotate this 1 kip towards this support, it forms a clockwise moment, because if you rotate this arrow towards this support, it would be a clockwise moment. I have to apply a resistive moment. This is clockwise, so I have to apply a resistive moment. As it is in x, this is in z, so resultant moment would be in y, but it should be an anti-clockwise. So I am going to apply an anti-clockwise moment in y. So this is my anti-clockwise moment in y. It can be here, it can be here, it does not matter. The magnitude would be 10 kip foot. So why this is an anti-clockwise moment? Because you can use the right hand rule. So you have to point your thumb in this direction. This is your thumb and this is your nail. And you should know that your fingers can be curled in one direction only. You cannot curl your finger in the opposite direction. So just curl your fingers and you will realize that your fingers are curling like this. This is your second finger and this is your third finger. I'm not very good at drawing, but I have tried it. Again, let me do it again. Just you have to point your thumb in this direction, in upward direction. So you see this is your thumb and this is your nail. Now curl your finger and you will realize your fingers are curling like this. This is your second finger and this is your third finger. Now this direction is anti-clockwise and you should know that this is resistive to this. So I have successfully applied a resistive moment and direction is this. Okay, repeat it again for this direction. This is clockwise in y. So you have to practice it. I'm going to the next case. My next case is like this. This is my fixed support, and for example this member is in y direction. The member is in y direction, it can be shown here, and the loading is in z direction, so I can show you loading here in z direction. Okay. This is 1 kip, this is 10 feet again, and this is your fixed support. Now if you rotate this 1 kip towards this support, it is forming an anti-clockwise moment. This is forming an anti-clockwise moment. Remember, this is in z direction. Remember, this is my y. Remember, this is my x direction. This is my z direction. Okay, the combination is, as it is in y, member is in y direction, the loading is in the z direction, the resultant moment should be in x, as it is anti-clockwise or counterclockwise. I have to apply a clockwise moment here. So a clockwise moment in x direction would be like this. This is a clockwise in x. Now why it is a clockwise? Because you have to apply a right hand rule again. So you will see that your fingers are curling in the clockwise direction. How? For example, this is your thumb, and if you point your thumb, and you will realize that your fingers are curling in opposite direction. automatically. Just do it and see it from here. You will realize it that this is a clockwise movement. So you can do it for this as well. This is an anti-clockwise movement in x direction. I'm again telling you that I'm not very good at drawing the figures, but we can try. So I have just, you just point your thumb, this is your thumb, in this is your nail, and curl your hand. Your hand would, your fingers would be curling in is this direction, and you should see it from here. You will realize it's a clockwise movement. Okay, the final case, uh, for example, I have a member in x direction. Remember, this is my y, this is my z, and this is my x, and the load is in y direction. So load is here, 1 kip, and this is y, and this is 10 feet. Now if you rotate this 1 kip towards this support, it forms a clockwise movement. Just rotate this point towards this, it forms a clockwise movement. Okay, combination is that this is in y, this is in, member is in x, the load is in y, the member is in x, the resultant moment should be in z. As it is forming a clockwise moment, I have to apply a resistive moment in z direction, and that would be anti-clockwise z, and the magnitude would be 10 kip-foot. Now how to evaluate, or how to know that this is an anti-clockwise movement in z direction? So simply I have to use a right hand rule. Okay, it can be here, it can be here, it does not matter. It can be shown here, it can be shown here, but the only thing is that this is drawn using the right hand rule. Just you have to point your thumb in this direction, and now curl your hand, curl your fingers. You will realize that your fingers are curling like this. Second finger, third finger. Now can you realize it that it's actually an anti-clockwise direction or counterclockwise direction, and it is resistive to this clockwise? I think it's very basic or very easy. I mean, you can easily do that. And opposite to that or contrary to that is this in z direction, and you should know that in z direction this is a clockwise movement. So again you have to point your thumb in this direction, and curl your hand, fingers, and you will realize your fingers are curling like this. Just practice it. You have to practice it. You cannot learn it without practicing it. You have to practice again and again. Just give it a 1 hour 2 hour time, and you will realize that it's very easy. I mean, I just gave it to, I mean, just gave 1 or 2 hours to it, and for the next 5-6 years it was so easy for me. I could solve each and every question on this. The primary thing is that you have to give time to this subject, because your concepts are not so much concrete in bachelor's. I realize, I have just come to know, because I've checked quite a few assignments, and I have found that the concepts are not so much great. I mean, that could be strengthened in this course. You have time because you are on vacations, and I mean, you have to give it as time. And if you are able to learn this subject very I mean, in a good way, then I believe that all your concepts on structure, whether it's related to bachelor's course or master's course, would be all clear. I mean, you can teach anyone if you give time to this subject. Thank you very much.